accredited, you must first of all have had some experience in something that's relevant to the protocol. So either you've been an auditor for a long time, or you have some environmental or social skills or economic skills, for example, relevant to hydropower. Once you meet that pre-qualification criteria, you then have to go through 2 assessments where you take part as a trainee assessor underneath an already accredited assessor. Submitted to the governance committee for final approval, and they're also graded during their assessments, and that goes in towards the decision on whether they become accredited. They also have continuous performance requirements in their license agreement that they've done a certain amount of assessments each year to maintain that quality. So we look primarily towards the consulting world for accredited assessors, because they're the people that do this work on a day-to-day basis. I'm getting off easily. We normally have a lot tougher questions around the pricing of these issues. But I mean, it is worth putting into the context that even at the top end, on a 2,000 megawatt project, that's
moving my hat from the government way, trying to switch on to a developer's perspective. Give me 3 compelling reasons as a developer that I would spend my resources, both in terms of financial as well as energy and time, to undertake such an assessment using this protocol. I've been keeping in mind the IFC's presentation saying that there's a clear distinction between the performance standards requirements by the IFC and the protocol. If there is a value saying that if you do assess your project using this protocol, which I made a very quick assessment, trying to compare between the 20 thematic areas that is being covered under this protocol to the performance standards required by the IFC as a requirement. Notwithstanding the fact that I'm yet to see the details in your document, I would usually see from a developer's perspective that these are more or less integrated and covered. So if there is a value addition from the IHS side where you would lobby and convince these financing institutions, whereby they would say that if a developer has subjected his project proposals through the protocol, it suffices the requirement, then I see there's a point.
And where that project is strong across the entire range of sustainability criteria. Performance standards is a process that the IFC uses to ensure that the clients that it's providing finance to are complying with those standards. And it's a lot longer a process that's gone through with the clients, and I think it's fair to say a lot more resource intensive than the protocol assessment. So the way that they operate is completely different. The second point I'd like to make is that there are a substantial number of projects out there that are not going through the performance standards process and do not have the benefit of guidance from the IFC and the performance standards, and that are getting it horribly wrong. So there's one case to be made where the protocol's working with clients that are already clients of some of the IFIs. There's a whole lot of other clients out there that have had no relationship with IFIs.
And we saw before, you can see that environmental and social issues management, the water quality, and the erosion and sedimentation all scored at the 2 level, which is 1 gap to basic good practice. And then upstream water parameters, and there was 1 gap against the outcomes criteria, and again that was the same gap that was found against the assessment criteria, and that was the lack of scoping for cumulative impact. So there was no way of judging what the cumulative impacts had actually been. As you saw, there was a lot of gaps at the best practice level, and these are all areas where the project could choose to improve what they're doing, to be performing at a level that's above and beyond.
The previous slide, you have the numbers 1 to 9. For example, stakeholders engagement. What is the practice implementation between numbers?
The 1 is actually
Then you have out of many criteria, if there is only 1 gap, then the score will be 1 or 2. Is that so? To be perfect, then there should not be any gap. It means. Is that correct?
If you get no gap on that topic.
There's no gap on that topic.
As users who could benefit from this. So you have the project proponents, the developers themselves, and I think that's probably where the benefit is most obvious. But increasingly we are seeing the application of the protocol being of use to regulators or the government departments that are involved in hydropower licensing. On how to deal with social aspects of hydropower projects. So there was absolutely no guidance on how you went about a resettlement program, how you dealt with project-affected peoples, or how you dealt with indigenous peoples. What the government had done in the past, that elected that the project proponents just handed over all social aspects of the project to the government. Unfortunately, that negotiation basically amounted to telling them to move and do it fast, and it got the governments into a lot of trouble previously. What the protocol assessment and the project was able to do was identify the fact that the project scored very weakly, very badly. It was one scores all the way around on the social topics of hydropower development. So running through these quickly. As I said, I think one of the biggest benefits of the protocol is it brings everything together. So within those 20 to 22 topics, you have every single aspect of sustainability, all the way from financial viability to the social aspects caught up in that one element. It forces you to bring all the information together and prepare it in a concise way that gets it ready for assessment. That allows the overall sustainability performance of the business itself to benefit from that experience. It allows you to very quickly target where the weakest areas are, and also focus in money that you're going to be spending on addressing issues around social and environmental issues in a focused manner. So
He uses it to find areas that he's weak in. He also uses it to find for a four or both. Perhaps he doesn't want to be a world leader regarding erosion sedimentation, but he definitely doesn't want to be performing below best practice on biodiversity. So he's actually using the protocol to allocate his sustainability resources a little more carefully.
That you cannot adapt to pick and choose based on your local context, or is it something that maybe certain provisions within the protocol may or may not be relevant in a country-specific context? So just wondering if there's a flexibility to adapt to your local context.
yeah, two elements to that. The first element is that, and I think you mentioned it yet, is the protocol assumes compliance with local regulations. So you cannot get a 3 score unless you comply with local regulations against the other topics. That's the one part of it. The second part is slightly more tricky, because the protocol was designed so that when the forum looked at all of the experience that was out there, it often is relevant, and the weakness is rather that there has not been adequate focus on the issue, or it's not dealt with in an adequate manner.